I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones, I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all made mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys.
All right. Yeah. Welcome to Mr. C and Fifth. You heard him. That was LeBron James talking. I'm your host, the Fifth General. Zacchaeus is here. What up, Zacchaeus?
Hey, what's good, man?
All right.
Wow.
Let's get into it. Real quick,
wow.
Zacchaeus, make sure your mic is on. Okay, I think it's picking up another mic. All right.
Okay. Am I good? 1, 2.
It's a little better. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So, Kyrie Irving. This is a segue. We talked about Jerry last week. Time is going by. People still ain't caring about the. Michael Irvin said, "Hey, he was in the back, so he looked all right, but he didn't look like the guy in the front with the cigarette in his mouth, so he all right." What the heck? So then, what got announced about maybe a few days ago was Nike said that Kyrie Irving is no longer an athlete signed under a Nike contract. Okay. Yeah. So that was LeBron James speaking. And like he said, he basically made the parallel. He said, hey, y'all didn't talk about this, but y'all talked about that. And this gets more light than that. And why? Why so? And I like the fact that he controlled the narrative by not letting an interviewer cut him off. He didn't let a reporter cut him off. He said, hold on.
Yes.
And I respect that about LeBron. Although, LeBron, kind of had to do some real funny stuff. They had him holding hands with somebody a couple weeks ago when the Kyrie thing broke out, and then he was basically silenced and his voice was monitored. And he had to pretty much walk on eggshells about the Kyrie Irving controversy, but he was able to do it this way. He was basically saying, "Hey, I talked about him, but equally, I should be talking about other people too." So he's just saying, if you're gonna hold one accountable, hold them all accountable.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
That's right. I want to do this real quickly. A quick applaud to LeBron James
Yeah.
for speaking facts and speaking truth.
Yeah.
Applaud. He gets my applaud.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can get a applause sound effect. You know what I mean? But now, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So it's like this.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Clap it up for LeBron. Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, man. It's like this. LeBron James was bringing facts because he's simply saying that give him that, say, if you're quick to bring up what Kyrie Irving is doing, but but you're not looking at the Jerry Jones situation. He understood. Yeah, he basically said, "I understand that was years ago, but this is what our black people had to go through as far as
I'm sorry, y'all.
segregation." Yeah, it's okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is what our people had to go through during the Jim Crow era.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we had to fix. Yeah, I understand it's 66 years ago or 60 something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But but nobody asked him about that. But they quick to ask him about was Kyrie Irving situation. And to me, basically, Kyrie Irving didn't have a situation. All the man did was posted. And he's getting dropped by Nike, which I think is really, really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm gonna get penalized for posting,
yeah,
but not even, he was not anti-Semitic. He was just posting some information. That's it. And LeBron just addressed it, and he said it loud. He said it loud in many ways, but he didn't have to shout it loud, but he said it loud. That's what I admire about LeBron James.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
So what's next for Kyrie Irving? Hey, do you think he'll get another shoe deal with a mainstream sneaker company? Notice how I said mainstream.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at it this way. A lot of the clothing, not the clothing, but I will say a lot of those major companies are controlled by the powers that be, if you know what I mean. So it's gonna be. I mean, could it be a possibility? I think for right now, a lot of them are staying clear of Kyrie Irving. That's just my opinion. I think they're just staying clear of Kyrie Irving because if Nike don't want to deal with him, the others may follow suit.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
agree that that's
chain reaction.
Yeah,
a chain reaction.
Yeah.
So I ain't dealing with, oh, you dealing with, oh, you anti-Semitic, oh, I ain't do, and it just, because it's like this. This is it's so fickle because if one major company don't get you, they all don't want to deal with you.
Dave Chappelle said, real quick, I'm gonna give it back to you. Dave Chappelle said in his recent SNL monologue when he guest hosted, he had said that it's bad when Adidas, who was started by Nazis, want to drop Kanye. That's what he said. So He said, you know, it's bad when a company that was started by Nazis drops you because you were called anti-Semitic. You know, when he said, when he said that in his monologue, that went over a lot of people's heads. There was a lot of subtle laughs. You know, somebody in the background was like, "Ah, wait," you know what I'm saying? Because they realized what they was laughing to.
Right.
So I think he should go independent, Kyrie.
Yeah.
With his shoe deal, I think he should
Yeah.
go independent. I think he should deal with somebody small or start his own thing, and then just go from there and just empower himself there. But you know, he's still in the league. He still has an NBA contract. He's not going to get cut. The question is, will he get a new NBA contract once the contract he has expired? I think that's something that people think about. Yeah. So, I wish Kyrie the best.
Yes.
The man has asked for forgiveness, and he's denounced racism of any sort of kind. He's done everything pretty much they wanted him to do or told him to do. So,
yeah.
I mean, what else do you want from him, you know? And let's transition back to Jerry Jones. You said last week, brother, and that was a powerful episode last week. Actually, one of our best, right? Especially the ending. And you said, who's to say that Jerry Jones wasn't part of the mob itself? All we did was take his word for it by saying I was a curious kid.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then we go through his history, a lot of the stuff that he has done, other than just signing black NFL players that make money for him, obviously, because that's the agenda. That they're saying that there are many times where he's had chances to denounce racism in his current life, and answers to some of the accusations that he's been accused of by being anti-black, that he's yet to prove them wrong. I guess I guess his way of proving people wrong that he's not anti-black is signing black players. I don't know. I mean, Donald Sterling was still saying keep them black people away from our games, but he had black players too. So that doesn't prove anything either. You know what I'm saying? No different. No different from the slave master that's raping the slave woman repeatedly. He was still a racist, getting turned on, raping RAPEing a woman. I got to be careful with the YouTube algorithm. And
right.
And he was doing, the slave masters were doing that and still being anti-black. So that proves nothing either. I mean, it goes on, you know. So, like I said, I'm not gonna call. Last week I said I didn't call him a racist. I just called him a suspected one, just based off of, you know, some background stuff we got on him and the fact that he was talking a whole bunch of crap about Kaepernick when he was kneeling against the injustice that was happening to black people.
Yes.
Here's what I want to say to non-racist people. Non-racist. If you're non-racist, right? Why would you take a stance against a man who's protesting against racism, but you're not racist? I have to say that if you have an issue with that, then you may be suspected. Remember what I said shows ago, that if you can't come out of your mouth and tell us you're racist or do racist things, then I have to, for my safety, suspect you of such things. That's it. Because I don't know. You do, you know, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Like a duck.
It's
It's
a
a
duck.
duck.
So since y'all don't want me to do that, I'll just say suspected.
Suspected, yes.
Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, we've heard issues where people that were very popular, just like Jerry Jones, very popular.
Yep.
And we had stories of people just being around in areas where there was a lot of racial injustice going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen certain pictures of the KKK. Then you see certain pictures of just people just standing around. Not saying that he wasn't, but just sometimes birds together. You ever heard there's an old term,
Birds of a feather.
classic, but only feather flock together.
Yeah.
Right, birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
So even if we are saying that we're not involved, but if you're around the people that's involved, you most likely are involved.
Yeah. The police call that RICO.
Yeah, there you go. That's the term for it.
The shortened term, RICO law. You know what I mean?
RICO law, yeah. So
stop and frisk. They use RICO
Stop and
laws
frisk,
to justify stop and frisk.
frisk. Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, like you said, Zacchaeus, you said, Fifth, if that was me and you, our income would be different than his. Yeah.
First of all, we won't be getting income like him.
No.
We we won't be getting it like him, man. I mean, but you know, different strokes for different folks. And I always say that because it's true.
Different strokes to rule the world.
because it's true. And you see, if you look at brothers like Kaepernick and even LeBron James, that's even although he took a stand, and that's in his moment he took a quick stand.
Yeah.
And he in other words, it's like athletes, certain people are standing up and standing out, and they're not being ashamed of it. They're saying, listen, this is a generation of information. Back in the days, we had to search for encyclopedia and search for things. And like, I mean, back in the days, I'm talking about the 80s, 70s. I give it maybe the early 90s. We didn't have information like Google and certain things that we could just put out there and post. But now the information is at our fingertips. So anything that we discover is easy to discover it and expose it now. Before we wasn't able to discover and expose, we had to look at encyclopedia books, and we had to like really dig in to our research with books. But now everything is in our fingertips. And now we're able to record and expose. Okay?
Yeah.
Record and expose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you think if you suspect, guess what? And you was in that circle, guess what? Even things that happened 50 years ago, if it was in the photo, it can be exposed.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Yeah, man.
But we just wanted to kind of share that real quick because we wanted to report about Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
So what happened a couple of days ago? I had saw a thing about it. I wish I would have had the video clip, the audio of it. A 10-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
Accidentally, or the reports are accidentally But when you go deeper in the reports, you hear that the son was upset, hid the gun, right, Zacchaeus?
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to let you finish the story. You know more about it than I do. Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Well, according to sources, according to news sources, according to this boy, 10-year-old boy in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, shot his mother. I don't know how he got the gun, the 10-year-old boy, how he got the gun. Because I'm still trying to dig up some sources or find out information on how he got the gun in the house. But anyway, shot his mother because he didn't get a virtual headset. A certain game that he wanted from Amazon that he wanted to order, and his mother told him no. And because he has history of rage, this little boy have history of rage and have history of rage and anger. He gets angry very fast. According to news sources, he was reportedly getting angry very fast and shot his mother. The bullet, when the boys reported that he was twirling the gun around, and it went off, and his mother was standing right there. And then other sources say, according to the Fox News and certain sources said he pointed the gun at his mother and shot the mother in the eye. Bullet went through the eye, out the skull of his mother, Quinona Med. Her name is Quinona Med, yeah. Quinona Med, and killed her. 44-year-old mother gets killed by her 10-year-old son. When I heard this, I just lost it. Like, I just couldn't believe what I heard. Now, according to news sources, his sister, 26-year-old sister, that came when his mother was shot, she seen him, and now the sister, they tried to get the police, call the police, get the police, but the sister said, this is what the sister said. The sister said that this boy has 5 people speaking in his head. I'm going to say, and fifth, you're a spiritual person. 5 demons speaking through this boy.
Yeah.
So, we can talk like this because we believers. We follow. Yeah.
And people are going to hear what you got to say. Yeah.
So that's what the sister said, that you have to excuse him. He has a rage and 5 people speaking through this boy, and that's what makes him get to a point of angry of nowhere. He took a cat. I think he took a cat and he choked the cat out, and then he grabbed the took the cat, choked the cat out. I don't know if the cat died or not. And then he has a tendencies of being very violent as far as playing around with other people, but he has a anger, rage, and I don't know how. God rest her soul. Condolences to the mother, Quinona Med, 44-year-old. I don't know how did and then on top of that, I'm gonna finish up. On top of that, now he goes tell his auntie, actually it's his grandmother, his auntie, that did my order, that my head, after he killed his mother, he had no, remember, this boy had no remorse, no tears came out of his eyes when his mother was on the ground, bloody, probably on the floor with blood pouring out of her. And he went to his grandmother and asked her, after that, all that is done, all that drama, all to kill his mother, went to the mother, his auntie, I believe his auntie, and asked her, did my virtual headset come in from Amazon? I can't make this up. This is according to the sources. After all of that, this boy, and there's a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of us, but he's at in a young age has mental issues already. There's a lot of people that have mental issues, but this is a 10-year-old that we're talking about. This is a lot. This is a 10-year-old we're talking about, a boy.
Hey, man, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Have they diagnosed any level of autism in that boy?
No. Sources, according to the sources, when I read the sources, no level of autism, no.
Continue.
Can't. So, as far as they haven't diagnosed him with any disorder of any sort, but the only disorder I think he's been diagnosed with was mental issues, outrageous anger issues.
Is he medicated?
No, yeah, and no, he's not medicated. As far as I know, according to the sources, no, nothing about medication, giving him medication. There's just a sister reporting him having 5 people that speak to this boy.
How would the sister know he got 5 people? That means the boy had to tell her that, right?
It's a possibility.
So
maybe the sister knows something that we don't know.
Let's give more clarity. So that sounds like a high level of schizophrenia. The only way to know that is to diagnose the boy.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 people. How would somebody who is not in their head know that? That would mean that he had to at some point vocally voice that he has voices in his head or people, quote unquote.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's how she was able to come up with the number of 5. Because if somebody says, yo, he got voices in his head. Okay. Mm-hmm. Big difference from saying, oh, he got 5 voices. Oh, how you know it's 5? Right?
Right.
So,
right.
For those who don't know what a virtual headset is, it's basically headphones with a microphone attachment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know what a VR headset is. So yeah, he killed his mother. He killed his mother over that.
Yeah.
According to reports. Go ahead.
I would not be surprised if this boy is exposed to a lot of violence with these games. Because sometimes you got to watch a kid with these games too. Sometimes these games have profanity. Sometimes these games
at 10 years old, that's too soon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes for him not to feel remorse after killing his mother, it just tells me that he treated her, that whatever was in that game, I got to get the game, but whatever was in that game or in those games that he plays is definitely violent, bloody, violent, is too deep for his age. But also, if you're not, now I'm gonna go spiritual now. If you're not praying over your kids and you're not watching if you're not careful what they're being exposed to, ladies and gentlemen, these things can happen. You got to be careful. And to hear a boy, I had to be a demon in that boy for that to happen, because ain't no way in the world that you're gonna hear. Of course, I didn't get what I want. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna shoot my mother. I may get, when we were kids growing up, or a lot of us, when we were kids growing up, a mother said, "No, you can't get it now." You may pout. You may get upset. You may get like a little tantrum. But that right there, I'm gonna just say it's demon all over it. It's evil all over that situation and case. You can't tell me that.
Where's this boy's father, man? So
that's another thing too. That's another thing.
There's no mention of him having another parent.
No, just as him, his mother, sister,
he said his grandmother,
auntie.
Right? Aunt, whatever.
His grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And it just goes back to, how come this boy wasn't addressed on this a long time ago? If you see your kids in a certain way, getting outrageously angry, getting outrageously like out of control, where they're they're killing animals. That's what certain serial killers did anyway back in the days, but that's a different story altogether. You see your kids, people killing animals and
Yeah.
harming certain things.
Well,
These are
sound like
signs that you
sound like
have
some
to
Jeffrey Dahmer,
be mindful of.
That sounds like some Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these are things you have to be. These are things you have to be mindful of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are things you have to be mindful of. Now, it starts from when they're young. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't start killing people when he's old. He started thinking about
Right.
harming, dissecting animals when he was young.
Yeah, he had a fetish for it. Actually, it turned him on sexually. But
yes,
yeah. You know, this is a perfect segue into the next topic. But before we get to that, they said that they're gonna try this kid as an adult, right?
Yes, yeah. Which I thought, okay, as a 10-year-old, you're gonna try a 10-year-old as an adult.
I mean, but keep in mind he's also a black child. I mean,
yes, he's a black child. Yes,
black children are disproportionately always charged as adults when they're children.
Yes, no matter, because remember this. No, fifth, I'm gonna dig into history.
Go ahead, dig back.
I'm gonna dig in history.
I know where you're gonna go too. Go ahead.
A lot of people don't know this. Look it up. Google it, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have his name. I read about it.
I'll get it.
The youngest executed in this country. The youngest, and I'm gonna say it. The youngest executed in this country. The youngest executed in this country.
George
was
Steiny.
A black boy.
George Steiny.
George Steiny. And I think the year is 1944. Am I right?
It is, yes.
1944?
Yeah.
1944. What's his name again? Steiny, right?
George, I'll spell his name.
Yes.
George, your typical George. George. Steiny. Or Stinny.
Steiny.
How you say it?
Stinny, yeah.
Stinny.
Yes.
Now, real quick, some would say, why that happened to him? Well, he was convicted of allegedly killing 2 white girls.
See?
He was
falsely accused.
Right. He was coerced to confess and say that he did it. But anyway, that's besides the point. Go ahead. He was put in electric chair. Go ahead.
The youngest to ever in this, I think in the world, to be put on an electric chair. George Steiny. He was so small that they had to put a book underneath him.
Yeah, he had to sit on like phone books, quote unquote.
Phone books. In order for them to put the
headpiece on him. Yeah.
The headpiece on to execute him.
Yeah.
So yes, the reason why we brought that up because it's a fact. Mm-hmm. Black people are charged differently than our Caucasian counterparts,
according to statistics, disproportionately. And also keep in mind that this young boy, when he gets tried, they're gonna convict him. It's gonna happen. He needs mental help.
Yes, he does.
Now, I will say everything is not mental health. Everything is not mental because that's usually what it gets blamed on. Really?
Yes.
But part of his rehab, when he is incarcerated, should be dealing with that. So what's more likely going to happen is he's going to spend his adolescent years in juvie, and then they will carry him from juvie to probably state prison. And his life has changed forever.
Yeah. Sad, man.
Yeah.
It really is sad, man. It's sad.
Now,
man.
Talk about the influence of the dark world, right? You wanted to talk about a show that is being normalized. But I will say, I did some research. It is not being advertised for little kids, but it uses a
cartoon.
But it uses a little kid though.
Yes,
and it's a show that's going to be on FX or Hulu called My Little Demon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the point that I think in the context we want to keep it is it's a mature rating, but keep in mind they're using kid characters, so kids will think that it's acceptable to probably watch that program, and parents need to boycott that show for their adolescents.
Yes, they do.
If you're an
They
adult,
do. Yeah.
you're an adult, you're gonna watch it. The concept of the show is supposed to be a child whose father was Satan, the mother was a human, and the kid grew up. Also want to keep in mind there's I get it because I get where they get this concept from. I really get where it's coming from. It's not coming from thin. It's actually coming from something. Those who are into the comic books. DC Comics, there's a character by the name of Raven. The mother of Raven was basically sacrificed as an offering to bring a child into this world by DC's version of a Satan, right? The character is Trigun. When the child is born, the child has these powers, trying to figure out why. You know, she uses her powers for good and imprisons her dad, who is the Satan version of, of the comics, for eternity, or at least for as long as she can. She uses her powers for good. I mean, I get it. It's fantasy. It's fairy tale world. At the end of the day, it's still bad, right? Even with that said,
Yeah.
I don't think demons are funny.
Not at all.
But I think that's probably where they're trying to go with this show. Like, this is a half demon child, and there's going to be a lot of comic satire and stuff like that. But you got to be careful what your kids watch, what your kids are influenced, because stuff like what we were talking about before with the boy having 5 voices in his head.
Yes.
Stuff like that can go hand in hand. You speak more about that, Zacchaeus, your point of view.
Yeah, well, to me, we're living in a time. This is the Antichrist at its best, because if you can promote a show that promotes demons and Satan, and even if it's an adult, this is like more an adult cartoon.
Right.
It is an adult cartoon.
Right. It's like
and
South
it's
Park.
FX.
It's like South Park.
Yeah, South Park.
Like
Yes.
South Park uses kid characters, but it's a show that's not for kids.
But even as adults, we cannot take the devil lightly. We cannot take demons and like Halloween and celebrating demons and making jokes out of demons lightly.
Yeah.
You can't do it because the devil is busy, and what they're doing is they're promoting the Antichrist. And that is that's gonna take over your mind. Although you may look at it as innocent, is an animated cartoon, is an adult cartoon, animated cartoon, and the writer may say, "Oh well, it's not for kids." Okay, but let's say it gets into the hands of your kids.
More likely it will.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's say, okay, and you're not watching your 24 hours what your kids are watching. You're not always up in the room when they're on their headphones, being exposed to certain things. Now, this is something that is like, I'm talking about the effect this has on the spiritual realm. If you are if this is demonized as something that can play with your mind. This is something this is Satan driven, and it's also something that you shouldn't be messing around with. It shouldn't be messing around because the devil is real, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you want to believe it or not,
Yeah.
Satan is real. The devil is real.
Right.
He wants to have your soul. And if you can have your soul and destroy, and guess what? Who's a weaker vessel in your house?
The children.
Your kids, the
Yeah.
children, and if you're not a praying person
Mm-hmm.
and you're not a person that's following Christ or nothing
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you
You're a weak vessel too.
will
Yeah.
you'll be the weaker vessel too.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan, he wants to have your soul. He doesn't want to just you to laugh at his jokes or anything. He wants to control you and have your. He wants to control your every being.
Mm-hmm.
The every being. This is Mm-hmm.
So, there's a line in Bad Boys for Life,
Yeah.
where Martin's character is talking to Will's character,
Yes.
and Martin's character said, in the context of the film, he said, if you go and you kill your son, you're gonna go to hell. Will's character said, I don't believe in hell. Martin's character responded and said, well, it believes in you. And that's what I think you're trying to say, Zacchaeus, is that
That's right.
You may not believe in the enemy, but the enemy, but we call it the enemy as people who are followers of the faith, because Satan is the enemy because he was an enemy of God. So any enemy that's an enemy of God is an enemy of us who serve God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the point you're making is you may not believe that Satan may exist, but whether that's his name or not, because I know people say, well, that's a Spanish name in Diablo, and that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But he believes in you. Now, you could beat him.
Mm-hmm.
You give your life to Christ. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want people to not get that twisted, because you can't just fight the devil or fight against spiritual, just fight against demonic attacks without not having the Lord in you. The Lord got to be in you, and you got to be battle ready and prepared to fight that. So yeah,
That's right.
You know about that, but I just want to make sure everybody else know where we're trying to get to when we say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
But back to the show. Yes, the nature of it. Yes, there is an agenda. And the Bible says that Lucifer is the prince of the air, right?
Yes.
They're trying to normalize that stuff like demons, witchcraft, and all of that is acceptable. Right?
Yes.
That's what they're trying to teach.
Yes.
So that it could lessen your fear to one.
Yes.
And to let it in.
Yes.
Yes. For years we have seen vampire movies and shows. Vampires, in a metaphorical sense, would be demons because they're bloodsuckers. They're the dead.
Yes.
And they want to take your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
A zombie would be a soulless creature that wants to kill you, right?
Yes.
And I ain't gonna front. I watch The Walking Dead and zombie stuff. You know, I ain't gonna lie. Werewolves symbolize transformation, right? The werewolves are seen a little differently than vampires, but both here to harm, right? What werewolves are perceived to have a beef with vampires. That's usually what you see. The werewolf ain't rocking with the human. It'll hunt the human, but what it hates the most is the vampire. And it's depicted that the vampire is threatened by the werewolf because the werewolf can match its strength. Right? People who've watched many of those, films like I know people have watched Twilight, people have watched whatever, right?
Yes.
But then you got stuff like where it actually shows people fighting demons. Okay, you're fighting demons, you're killing them, you're getting rid of them. The problem is when you embrace a demon. And that's the agenda that these shows are going with. The shows are telling you you don't have to fight him anymore. You can embrace it. That's the
right,
problem.
yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. See, because for years before me and you was born, you're supposed to be against the demon, right? That's what was taught.
Yes. Right.
Demons are evil. You're supposed to be against them. You're supposed to fight the devil. You're supposed
Yes.
to. The devil and his demons are evil. So you're supposed to fight it. Right? Nobody had a problem with that. Right?
Right.
The problem is when you start making content that's telling you to embrace it.
Yes.
And become one with it. And welcome it in your
Yes.
home. And
Yes.
and become friends with it.
Yes.
Damn near worship it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
You know, the thing is that when you normalize Luciferian practices and satanic rituals,
Yeah.
and then you tend to embrace demonic forces and think it's a joke, and then you make a cartoon out of it, and then you have big networks like behind it, symbolic satanic rituals behind it, and you have networks like Disney, FX, Hulu behind it to promote something like that.
Disney owns
it goes to tell you
Hulu.
that.
How about that?
Yeah, Disney. Yes,
I want to let people know that Disney owns Hulu.
Hulu, yes, and just not too long ago, I with that little demonic cartoon, I seen this other series that's gonna be, I think this other show or series that's gonna be brewing, where the kids were holding up a sign. They were holding up a sign, and it's supposed to say Santa, but it says Satan.
Yeah.
These young kids,
When the kids
holding
assembled,
up a sign,
yeah. When the kids
they assembled
assembled
it
in
and
the
it
front,
said,
they
"I
were out
love
of
you,
order. Yeah.
I love you, Satan."
Yeah.
It said
Yeah, it did.
that was not this, and they said it was a typo or something that was a
No,
mistake. That's not a mistake.
That's not a mistake.
That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, that's not a mistake.
First of all, I got more for you, right? Thank you, Zacchaeus. First of all, the word Santa is actually from a paganistic standpoint is a derived name from Satan anyway.
Speak it.
It really is.
That's right.
First
Yes.
of all it is the same letters, just reworded. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So
It really is.
It really is. Yes, it is. Yes.
If you put the N at the end, that's what you spell.
That's what you spell.
Santa
Satanic.
Santa versus Satan.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you worship, you idolize these paganistic days, and that sign there is not a mistake. It's literally saying loud and clear that I worship Satan. That's why the frequencies and the things that these kids that you're trying to get these kids into and trying to get people to worship and celebrate is satanic. A lot of it is satanic. These paganistic rituals.
Well, you heard about
and terms are
Balenciaga,
satanic.
right? You heard about Balenciaga, right? Because this is where this is satanic too in perversion. Balenciaga
Yes.
had an ad for these teddy bears for kids, and they had a kid holding up sadomasochism, BDSM attire that you would see probably in that nature of sadomasochism and BDSM in a porn. They got that advertised with a little kid holding a bear in that type of harness equipment that culture is part of. Okay, now that's demonic right there. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing promoting that with a child? Listen, I ain't into that stuff, but let me tell you something right now. That's for consent. I'm not endorsing this, but BDSM and sadomasochism is for consenting adults. You do not have a child with this weird whip and chain attire on a teddy bear and promote it like as if that's okay, Balenciaga. That's disgusting.
Exactly. It's disgusting. No. It's disgusting. And that's what they're getting ready for the Antichrist. They're getting ready to just gear up everything as far as like the worship of Satan is okay, and the glorifying the demons and the devils and warlocks and the Ouija boards and the and the reading of a psychic and the
tarot
these
cards
things,
and all that.
tarot cards. You see, you look on YouTube and sometimes I see these, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
These women reading tarot cards.
Yeah.
Instead of seeking God, you're reading tarot cards for your future. Why don't you seek the Lord for your future?
I don't rock with that. I don't rock with that at all. Hey, do you know that there was a woman? Do you know that there was a person? And we got to get into our last topic. Do you know that there was a person who said that she went to like those medium clairvoyant type of people? You know that you pay them and you walk in there and they say, "Oh, I want to hear from my brother. He died years ago. Can you talk to the dead?"
Yes.
Do you know that some of those? Do you know that so many people have been to those things, and when they left that place, they never was the same again? If you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Spiritually, they were just haunted. Then had to go to it. They had a woman. She said she went to one of those things. She had to go to the church to get delivered.
See, because
she said she started seeing demons after she did one of those things.
Yes, because God never told you to do that.
Yeah.
The Bible says, "Let the dead bury the dead."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to those mediums and you go to all and you get to into all these demonic forces and rituals, you're opening different frequencies in your system. You're opening different frequencies that wasn't meant to be open.
Yeah.
You're opening different frequencies in your system that's not meant to be open.
Oh.
Okay. So we gotta stay away from anything that is given Satan praise or the devil praise. That's why I'm not so some certain, I even have to say this too, that some of these, I don't go crazy over the holidays because there's a lot of paganistic rituals that was in these holidays that derive that do worship the pagan. They came from Rome, and you know what Rome stands for, and we're derived from Rome. Okay, I'm going into history again. We're derived from Rome, and Rome was the one that kind of pushed certain holidays like Christmas and certain thing, paganistic rituals. Don't matter what those paganistic rituals that derive from these. From Rome.
Well, they even mess
Roman
with
Catholics.
They even mess with the origins. They even mess with the origins of Easter because originally, I gotta be careful with this one. So this is what a lot of Christians tried to do as years going on. Instead of calling it Easter, they would just say, "Listen, we're not celebrating Easter. We're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ," right? And I used to wonder why they stopped saying Easter. They got you thinking Easter is about now the world from a carnal standpoint, as you thinking Easter is about rabbits and Easter eggs, right? And harvesting Easter eggs, right? When really Easter, the pagan holiday of Easter is a celebration of Esther. Esther is a sex god. Yeah.
Esther?
Yes. Esther is a sex god. That's where Easter comes from, right? In terms of the pagan portion. The pagan portion. So a lot of times, let me get my points together, and we got to get into this last topic. There's a lot of pagan holidays. Even Christmas was used as a pagan holiday when we all know that the celebration of the Messiah is not connected to December 25th.
That's right. Hello, speak it.
That's part of a different day on the calendar. Same thing with the resurrection is on a different day of the calendar.
Day of the calendar. Yes.
So what we have is a Roman kind of calendar kind of.
Yes.
That's what America and most of the world is basically kind of using. But we all know that the dates and times are kind of different. You know what I'm saying?
They're different. They're different.
They're different.
Jesus not born on December 25th.
Right. He was
Get it
not.
straight. Facts. Facts.
Get it straight. And nowhere in the Bible does it even say that.
It doesn't say that. Jesus was born on December 25th.
Right.
It doesn't say that in the Word of God.
And the resurrection of Christ wasn't sometimes in April, sometimes in March either. But they changed that around too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They're going along with the Catholic way of thinking. Roman Catholic way of thinking. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I have enough to say about that. We was just really trying to make a point about how sick this world is getting with trying to do certain things that involve kids or trying to promote the kids. So you have to really protect your children.
Yes, you do.
And any other children that's not yours that you could protect, do that too. This is why we're voicing our opinion on a platform, because hopefully there's a parent that don't know any better listening and saying, I need to go ahead and see what's going on with my son, my daughter, my nephew, my niece, to make sure that they're not being influenced by stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Last topic. I will play the audio so y'all know where we're going. Oh, sorry. Gotta turn it up. Let's go.
Right, you're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good. And I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
The most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
Well, they did good things, too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. He said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
Right, you're not Hitler.
Okay. Kanye West done lost his dang mind. Hey man, before I get into my opinion, man, do you think he's self-sabotaging? You think somehow he's saying, I'm gonna say everything to get me canceled and to prove I can't get canceled?
I think that the man has totally lost his mind. That's number one. Number two, it could be. We did all these little interviews. It could be setups for his demise. It could be little setups here and there because some people are laughing. Some people are laughing at him, and so it could be little setups here and there, or should I say it could be? Should I say he's trying to cancel himself to say, when you have money like that, I mean, although he has to pay Kim
200K
200K
for
a
child
month.
support. And
Child
she's
support,
she's a freaking billionaire, I think.
And she's a billionaire, which doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Well,
she's not getting alimony, right?
Right.
But
right. So
she's getting 200K of child support. I mean, anyway, go ahead.
anyway, yeah, man. So to me, I don't know if I could. I just say that because he's crazy, and because he lost his marbles, then he's like a laughing stock to people now. No, they just calling him. It's like, who's the guy that just had that last interview with? Yeah, they're just laughing at him, man. They're making kicks.
He was on Alex Jones InfoWars.
Alex Jones. Yeah, I think they're just laughing at him now, But
yeah, I have another clip.
Yeah, because
Picking up the Yahoo and the netting. So for now, it's just netting. I know some people call him BB. No, some people call him Yahoo. But we're gonna call him netting. What you want, netting? Hey, yeah, right after this, I'm gonna say you're crazy. I'm gonna take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Also, you're in the pedophilia. So, in a little while, hopefully you're going to take the mask off, because is this actually gay here?
All right. For those who don't know what was going on there, in that same interview, Kanye pulled out an actual fishing net and was talking out of it like it was a puppet.
Right.
Okay. All right. He doubled down, right? He went on another platform and said this.
You love Jews, but you're canceled for anti-Semitism because you also love Hitler, but you love everyone equally. Good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, Jewish people can't tell me who I can love and who I can't love. You can't force your pain on everyone else. Jewish people, forgive Hitler today. Let it go. Let it go. And stop trying to force it on other people. Good night.
Wow, let it go.
So I'm gonna say this, even though we don't like to, as believers of and followers of Yahweh, yes, we're supposed to forgive, right?
Yes.
Kanye just told that community, forgive Hitler and get over it. Black people are always told to forgive America for its history of slavery and get over it. Okay, fine, we'll let go of slavery, right? But what about the stuff you're still doing to us? We're not okay with that. And that's the difference between us. Anyway, let me not finish that sentence because I'll probably... So, I want to ask you something, Zacchaeus. Has Kanye lost his dang mind?
For that statement, I'm going to say yes. He lost his mind. The thing is, I'm going to go into it like this. You can't tell the people to forget the history. Forget about it. Push it aside and forget the history. That's number one. You can't do that. And then number two, I'm going to get on Kanye for this one now.
Yeah.
You need to read the history books again, because if you study Hitler, if you really studied Hitler, Hitler joined the fascist party in Germany. Although I believe he was half Jew himself. I believe he was Austrian.
He was, yes, go ahead.
He was half Jew himself. First of all, he had a hatred for anyone that was not Anglo-Saxon.
Yes, he hated black people very well, and he actually was a part of some executions of many Africans as well. There were Africans who were thrown in gas chambers too, and nobody talks about that. How about
Nobody
that?
talks about that either. Exactly. Speak it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Do you know that in Germany, during World War II, Kanye, speaking to you, that for a long period of time, they didn't think black people were human.
Still don't.
Do you know that?
Go ahead.
So when Jesse Owens won in the Olympics, Adolf Hitler hated it. When Joe Louis beat Max Mellon in the 1930s, Hitler penalized Max Mellon. So you have to understand, Kanye, that his hatred is for Jews and black people, Hebrew and black people, is far beyond you can ever reach. So if Hitler was living today, he would hate you. So
hold on.
Why a black man,
brother? Hold on.
would say that?
I got something ready. I need you to say this again. You said he would what? If Hitler was here today, he would what?
Hate you.
He would what?
He want to kill you.
He would
hate you.
Hold on.
Drop one of the clue bombs again.
Brother, you said hold on. Brother, you just said if Hitler was here today. You said if Hitler was here today, he would what?
Hate you, Kanye. He would hate you.
I don't think
he won't.
Yeah, he does need to get back into history, but I like that you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't think for a second that Hitler's beyond any. His hatred is like his hatred is for us and for people of color and people of Hebrew background. He hates us with a passion. You need to read your history books again. Go back and read your history. This man was a demon, a human demon. Adolf Hitler. He even drawn in his. Do you know that this man was so evil that I think I was looking at a documentary and I was reading about Adolf Hitler at one time. He killed his own. I think he drowned one of his friends. That's how evil he is. Very talented guy, but he's very evil. Very, very evil. So he would hate you, Kanye.
Yeah, I don't understand this praising of Hitler thing. I get that you're upset about what happened and you want to talk about the original Hebrews. You don't do it that way.
Exactly.
You don't do it that way. I get you want to voice what the Hebrews that the Bible speaks about, right? But you don't do it that way by worshiping essentially a white supremacist. Hitler's still a white supremacist.
Yes.
I ain't gonna give no freaking shine to him.
Exactly. That's like giving shine to Bull Connor, or giving shine to George Wallace, or giving shine to
King Leopold.
Yeah.
Who was part of the African Holocaust that nobody speaks about.
See? Oh, we gotta talk. We gotta have it. That's a whole different. You gotta talk about that show. We gotta do that. We gotta do an episode like that. Yeah.
We once mentioned it a long time ago. I can't remember, but yeah, exactly. Like that's not something that's talked about widely.
Yes.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yes. So don't sit here because you're comfortable today in 2022 and your bread is buttered. and you're living high on the cow to sit there and talk about how Hitler is great, is good. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Enough said.
All right. We're gonna get on out of here.
Yep.
Y'all can reach me at the Fifth General on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Zacchaeus, where can they see you, man?
You reach me on Instagram at Zacchaeus Music on Instagram. Also on Instagram on Wayne Bacchus Gospel on Instagram. Also on Twitter at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter. On Facebook, you can hit me up at Wayne Bacchus 167.
All right.
Take care, y'all.
All right. This was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace. Peace out.